In a world where honesty is seen as weakness, one innocent girl is about to be dragged into a game built entirely on lies. Now Kanzaki is an honest college student, too honest for her own good. One day, she receives 100 million yen and an invitation to the deadly liar game, where deception is the only way to win. Betrayed by someone she trusts, Now is left with no choice but to seek help from a genius con artist, Shinichi Akiyama. In a world built on lies, can honesty survive? The first episode of this anime begins on a very ordinary morning. We are introduced to a girl named Nao Kanzaki, an 18-year-old known for her innocence and kind heart. One day, while walking down the street, she finds a large amount of money lying on the ground. Without hesitation, she rushes to the nearest police station to hand it over. The officer is surprised by her honesty, as people like her have become very rare these days, her honesty almost reaching the level of naivety. When Nao returns home, she finds a large package waiting for her. Confused, she realizes she never ordered anything. As she looks closer, she sees that the sender is the LGT office. Curious, she opens the envelope inside and discovers that she has been randomly selected out of 100,000 people to participate in something called the liar game. Not understanding what this means, she opens the box and finds a huge amount of cash. After counting it, she realizes it's 100 million yen. At that moment, a voice message plays from a device included in the package, informing her that simply by listening to the message, she has officially become a participant in the game, and there is no way to withdraw. It also tells her that her starting balance for the first round is 100 million yen. The voice then begins to explain the rules. She must steal money from her opponent by any means necessary. Both players are considered to have agreed to participate, so nothing that happens in the game will be treated as a crime. The game is strictly one-on-one, and it begins as soon as she learns her opponent's identity, lasting for 30 days. The winner will be the one who ends up with more money. At the end of the game, a representative from the LGT office will come to collect the money. However, before doing so, the serial numbers of the bills must match her original amount. If she successfully steals money from her opponent, she gets to keep the extra, meaning she could earn up to another 100 million yen. But if she loses any of her own money, she will be required to pay the difference, which could leave her in massive debt. Terrified, Nao begins to panic at the thought of being involved in such a dangerous game, especially the possibility of ending up with a 100 million yen debt. She has no idea what to do or who to turn to. The only close person she has is her father, who is currently in a care facility battling cancer. The next morning, she goes to visit him. Sensing that something is wrong, her father asks her if everything is okay, but she hides the truth and reassures him that she's fine. She tells him that her only wish in this world is for him to recover, unable to bring herself to tell him anything that might cause him more pain. Because of that, Nao decides to visit the Mitsutanamura law office, where she meets a lawyer and explains everything that happened to her. However, he tells her that there's nothing he can do at the moment. Lawyers are only assigned to people who have already suffered damage, and since she hasn't lost anything yet, he cannot officially help her. Nao then suggests going to the police, hoping they can protect her, but the lawyer immediately rejects that idea. He explains that this is exactly what the sender wants. They know that most people will run to the police in situations like this, but the rules clearly state that the player must return the money directly to the LGT representative when they come to collect it. If she hands the money over to the police, it will be treated as lost property. This is where the trap lies. When the time comes to return the money, the police won't give it back to her, leaving her unable to fulfill the requirement. As a result, she would be forced to pay the entire amount herself. Shocked and overwhelmed after hearing this, Nao realizes she has nowhere to turn. The lawyer then suggests something unexpected. Instead of going to the police, she should consult a con artist, someone experienced in deception, if she wants to survive this game. After that, he informs her that her consultation time is over, and if she wants another hour, she'll have to pay 15,000 yen. Nao leaves the office feeling lost and miserable. She doesn't understand why she was chosen for this game, or what she's supposed to do next. Sitting alone in her room, exhausted and overwhelmed, she eventually falls asleep. Later in the middle of the night, she suddenly wakes up, worried about the money, and quickly checks on it, only to find that it's still there. The next morning, Nao opens the message again and discovers that her opponent for the first round of the liar game has been revealed. When she sees the photo, she is shocked. Her opponent is her former middle school teacher, Fujisawa, the same man who helped her during her father's illness and supported her in choosing her high school. Determined to understand what's going on, she decides to visit him the next morning and explain everything. However, her teacher tells her not to believe that the game is real, or that the money distribution is legitimate. According to him, it's all a setup. There is no real winner in this game. He explains that if her opponent were a stranger and the 100 million yen disappeared while she was asleep, she would have no way of identifying the thief. In that case, the most likely culprit would be the LGT office itself. After all, They already know every player's name and address, making it easy for them to steal the money and manipulate the situation. Each player would then suspect their opponent, and by the end of the game, everyone would end up drowning in debt. Until the truth becomes clear, he advises her to move the money somewhere safe. The organization might already be watching her, waiting for the right moment to take it. Now feels relieved after hearing his explanation, realizing that she almost fell into their trap. Together, they rush back to her house to check the money, and thankfully, it is still there. Her teacher then suggests putting the money along with his own in a secure bank vault until the game ends, promising that he will handle all the arrangements to keep it safe. Trusting him completely, Now agrees, feeling a huge weight lifted off her shoulders. Finally able to relax, knowing she can sleep without fear. Now suddenly wakes up and finds a message from the liar game stating that she has already lost. Shocked, she immediately contacts her teacher to confirm what happened. He calmly tells her that this must be part of the organizers' tricks. Since they realize the two of them might cooperate, they likely sent that message just to create doubt between them. Still feeling uneasy, Now decides to visit her teacher's house to apologize for doubting him. However, as she arrives, she overhears him talking on the phone, and what she hears completely shatters her. He admits that he deceived her and took the 100 million yen to pay off all his debts at once, mocking her innocence and saying she would never suspect him because her honesty borders on foolishness. Nayo is left completely stunned. The person she trusted the most has betrayed her. Heartbroken, she returns home and breaks down in tears. But in the middle of her despair, she makes a decision. She wants to get her money back. Then she remembers the lawyer's words. If she wants help with deception, she should seek out a con artist. Determined, Nao begins searching for one, and eventually she finds information about a genius swindler named Akiyama, a man who once brought down a massive, corrupt organization known as the Show Company. He is currently in prison, but his release is coming soon. The next day, several people are seen waiting outside the prison, hoping to meet Akiyama as soon as he gets released. However, time passes and he never appears. Only one prisoner comes out, and when they ask about Akiyama, they are told that he was already released long ago and likely disguised himself, just as he always does. Furious, they rush off to search for him, but it turns out Akiyama had tricked them all along. He had disguised himself as one of the guards and walked out unnoticed. At that moment, Nao is running desperately to find him, and she accidentally bumps into someone. It's Akiyama himself. She immediately recognizes him, but he denies it and tries to walk away. Nao stops him and begs for help, telling him that someone she trusted betrayed her and stole her 100 million yen. Akiyama refuses. He tells her he has no intention of helping anyone and suggests she go to the police or a lawyer instead. He points out that she is essentially asking a man who just got out of prison to commit another crime by helping her steal back the money. If he gets involved, he could end up back in prison. Despite his refusal, Nao doesn't give up. She follows him step by step, refusing to leave until he listens to her. Eventually, Akiyama gives in and agrees to hear her story. He tells her he'll go drop his things at home and come back to her. Nayo agrees and waits for him, but hours pass and he never returns. Later, outside a bar called Yuchan, Nao is still waiting. Two men approach her, one of them suggesting they have some fun. Frightened, she tells them she's waiting for someone. The other man mocks her, pointing out that she has been waiting there for hours. At that moment, Akiyama suddenly appears, grabs the two men, and drives them away. He apologizes to Nao and tells her they should leave. The two of them then head to a restaurant together. Inside the restaurant, Nao begins eating voraciously. Akiyama is surprised, and she explains that she hasn't eaten at all while waiting for him. He's taken aback by this, reminding her that he never told her to wait in one place. Realizing just how naive she is, he tells her that her honesty is exactly why she was so easily deceived. With a sad expression, Nao asks him if it's wrong for someone to be honest. Akiyama doesn't respond directly. Instead, he notices the liar game card on the table and asks her a simple question. Does she want to win the game, or does she just want to escape from it? Nao answers honestly, she doesn't care about winning. She only wants to survive, recover her 100 million yen, and get out of this nightmare. Hearing this, Akiyama finally understands her goal and tells her that the first thing they need to do is deal with her teacher. After that, the scene shifts to Nao and Akiyama as they head to confront her teacher. When the teacher opens the door, he warmly greets Nao and asks who she's with. But before he can continue, Nao interrupts him and directly demands that he return her 100 million yen. The teacher acts surprised and asks her what she's talking about, reminding her that he had already told her the money was safely stored in a bank vault that can only be accessed during working hours. He insists that it's for her own safety and that the money will remain there until the game ends. Nao then reveals the truth. She overheard his phone conversation and and knows everything. She accuses him of deceiving her and stealing her money. The teacher pretends not to understand, trying to play innocent, but at that moment, Akiyama steps in. Calmly, he demands that the teacher return the money, warning that otherwise he will report him to the police. The teacher becomes visibly nervous but quickly regains his composure, arguing that according to the rules of the game, anything taken during the game is not considered a crime. Akiyama responds firmly, asking him if he is admitting that all of this is just a game, and that he used that excuse to deceive her and steal her money. The teacher laughs mockingly and admits that yes, he tricked her, but insists that no one has the right to blame him. In his eyes, this is simply how the game works. If he hadn't taken her money, she would have taken his instead. Nayo immediately interrupts him, insisting that she would never do something like that. But the teacher coldly replies that he doesn't believe in trust anymore. He explains that in his previous school, he used to organize class trips and worked with the same travel agency every year. In return, the school principal would give him a small bonus as appreciation. However, one year they refused to pay him, and when he threatened to switch agencies, they reported him to the Board of Education. He was fired immediately, and even his family abandoned him. After everything he went through, he later received the invitation to the liar game, and at that moment, he believed it was his chance to finally win and change his life. Desperate, Nao begs him to help her. She tells him that her father is seriously ill with cancer, and that all she wants is for him to live his remaining days in peace. If she falls into a 100 million yen debt, everything will be ruined. But the teacher coldly cuts her off, saying he doesn't care about her, her father, or anyone else, only himself. Heartbroken, Nao breaks down in tears and she leaves with Akiyama. As they walk down the street, Akiyama comments that he can't believe someone like that was ever a teacher. He tells Nao that crying won't solve anything. Nao explains that she trusted him completely and even handed over the 100 million yen to him. Akiyama then reassures her that she hasn't lost everything yet, especially since the money is still in the bank vault. Suddenly, he realizes something important. Fujisawa just revealed a critical weakness when he mentioned that the vault can only be opened during bank hours. Akiyama asks Nao how many days are left in the game. She tells him there are 23 days remaining, and the game will end on Sunday, June 14th. Akiyama explains that no one will be able to access the vault on that day. Nao then adds that the teacher would have to withdraw the money by Friday before 5 p.m., meaning the money will be outside the vault for 2 full days before the deadline. At first, she worries that once he takes it out, it will still be difficult to retrieve, but Akiyama confidently tells her that he already has a plan. Nayo feels relieved and happy that Akiyama is finally willing to help her. However, he makes one thing clear. He's not doing this for free. Since Fujisawa himself admitted that this is all just a game, Akiyama has no problem playing by the same rules. He tells her that once they recover the money, they will split the profits equally. Nao happily agrees to his terms, finally feeling a sense of hope, and with that, the episode comes to an end.